So just ensure that you find yourself physically completely at rest, relaxing, and also as much as possible trying to engage in these sessions as a delightful and a joyful state of and a positive state of mind. In the word of the great the Indian master, Shantideva said having found such a wonderful life of leisure and endowment, so if we don't take in this opportunity to familiarize ourselves with the virtue, with the practice of virtue, then really there is no greater than way that we could deceive ourselves than this. So so therefore this it's important to just to reflect on this meaning. What it is saying is to just focusing on this the kind of form of life that we have found now as a human being has a great potential, and so therefore the reminding us of the how to the best to make this life really meaningful. Then we have to achieve some sort of purpose, bit more than what something very the immediate need of our lives. So therefore, such as purpose of the purpose, even beyond these lives. So in that way, if you don't do that, then really, when you take into considering these great potentials that we have, and then just wasting these potentials, then it says there's no more, like I said, deceptions than this one. So just acknowledging all this, in terms of this life that we have, and all these favorable conditions we surrounding us. So what he's saying is that we, as in that line when he says we should familiarize ourselves with the virtue. So what that virtue is nothing but just actually the spirituality. It's a dharma, which is something that we really cultivate.
Yeah, that today is a today wrong the new days mandala, Geshe condition is dead them as that's in this one. They are Majena, also the Mobashama, that's a good.
So the Shantideva is saying that if we make this life meaningful, by we can make this meaningful by familiarizing, by habituating ourselves with the virtuous dharmas. So however, if not doing this, not making this life, making this life meaningful in that way, then what is saying is that then there is no greater deception or no greater ignorance than this.
That's it. 단조 토바데 대드자마라 가르쳐가는 체지짓 대거가 수는 와이래 체지짓 손나 아니 단조 대대 마용가래
So in terms of to make this life meaningful, there is a mention about the we can make this meaningful by achieving four qualities.
가르는 치저거바 렌니바 센터라 저거바 다다니도 저거바 세들이가 체지짓 수용가.
So four things, or four the things through which we can to make this life meaningful. So that the first thing is to understand that that I must practice dharmas. So we need to gain that understanding, and then next thing is that I have the capacities the capability to practice dharmas, and then the third one is to understand that that I must practice dharma in this life, in this present life, and then fourth one is to I must practice the dharma right at this moment.
Now.
This
moment, don't understand. That's something. Other children say, children, saying children, lots of that. Children, the Babu, children coming on tomorrow. Either children and drag which is setting on the ship.
So now, if you go back to the first point, which is to understand that that we must practice dharmas. We must practice dharmas, and now this is something not only in Buddhism but all other religions also they encourage the people to practice spiritualities. So now the question is that in order to really to take the Dharma practice seriously, so we need to understand why we need to practice Dharma. So the reason why we must practice dharmas. So that is something related to what we discussed other day. That is is how related to this our fundamental, our innate wish or the desire to seek happiness and to avoid sufferings, and so therefore it's important to to relate and to understand these in the Dharma or the spiritualities in the context of the fulfilling these our innate desires.
That's on the mother Gaza. Children, Mandas, that is on the they are doing there. So, chit of a rat legs, I think. No one in they are doing us any shake them. No sanctity in your day, take it. I that easy children done. They are doing the Kenju here. Not think what can you. Give me are there, then. Can you lodge at it? Gather your point, gather good, you want to go there. No, it's the thing on time with the idea. Lots of body, lots of which younger with a lot of which you would have said. I didn't get you for a chair. Then they are don't get you for a dance. Mother let him know you are. The lots of body and the younger with a lot. Lots of me is that in Shibotion, I should do it. Talking, can you go to the house and look at him? No, son, you are. No, I am the good. Let roll, let said, look him, and we are. You know, the chip I apologize, you know, some tattoo, legend. That's what the lead round as I look him, and to one Ramana Michelle, I said, it mean hell. I is it about Raja, and the could can you room here? Look, kid. Is it kid with temple the level? Look him, no we are. You're not young at that, so on the age of the theatre on the general. Come on, she drunk about that, the news on with the other, she drunk about it here.
So as I said, not only Buddhism but also even others the religions also talks have the explanations of why we need to practice spiritualities. So for example, in the Christianities, where they teach the idea that all the reason is the same, which is to find the happiness and to avoid sufferings, but the way as a means to practice to achieve that the goal. So they teach on the people to develop faith in the Almighty God, and so they view the God as the source of finding achieving happiness, and so therefore on the other hand, when you look at the Buddha's teaching, so where the focus is more on the true cause of the happiness and the suffering is more on the internal, towards one's individual's state of mind, and so therefore as even His Holiness Dalai Lama is also quite often really praise the teaching of the other religions such as Christianity, that how even though they relate everything to the God, but at the end in order to achieve the happiness and to reduce sufferings, then people have to follow some sort of whatever the teaching or the instruction as we taught by their own religions, and so it is through believing in those and living the life according to those whatever the principle that they taught in their faith systems, and so in this way at the end it does, as His Holiness said, it does its work, and it's very effective. How whether you know, like whatever the religion you follow, but how when the moment when we cultivate, when a faith in our own religion systems, you know, like in the Christianities as Christianity, so if you cultivate, if you gain a strong faith in the you know, God as a you know, the source of everything, and then you believe in this you know, everything that happening the in your life, whether it's you know, the pain or the pleasures, happiness or sorrow. So this is all when you face this, you know, experience this, and if you think of the God, your faith in the God, and somehow it gives this a believer some sort of comfort, you know, in their mind. Really immediately it kind of give up more hopes and spirit, and it does work. So likewise in according to Buddhism, then we need to, you know, take the look all this situation, you know, whatever we experience in life from the perspective of the law of the karma, and how again, you know, in such kind of, when we face such situation, and how, you know, when we think, when we take into this the account of this, the law of karma as a why things, what we are experiencing in life, and then how this actually help us to calm our mind down, and to be more, you know, more resilience, and to, you know, maintain and have more hope, you know, to retain hope in ourselves. So how without something to have a belief in, then how if our mind is very much or, you know, or the overpowered by some sort of distracting thought or restless thought, you know, worrying about things, and how then that can be very you know, it can be a great source of problems.
That's on the right. Is that this how do I mean? You should keep up, but Goma Teso, she said, longer each bag, and it's soon the again. Kanga can't do a chair, Kanga Shumago, yes. And it was Ella. Kanga can't do a chair, Shumago, I said me, Yeri Chado make a catch shame. Can't you share Yeri Chado some to take a shame? Calling yes, that's how we are, my Rumbo Jella, Kanga Shumago, yes. I can't do a chair, yes. Chiba, Kuma, and soon not younger, and had to such a chamber deliver, not promotion of the rest of that. Is it? That's how much that's on the hotel more train.
So, like, you know, the Christianities, they where they explain or encourage people to why we should, you know, people should, you know, love, you know, to other beings, love to each others, you know, without any bias or you know, partialities. It's because they have saying that they have this idea that everything is the creation of the God, and so therefore on the basis of that, and you know, it is important to show love to all beings. So in fact, you know, His Holiness Dalai Lama quite often, you know, the great, admire some early, you know, great, some of the well-known practitioners of Christianity, and how their the ideas that they you know, use to encourage, you know, encourage people, advocate people to you know, love the other, love and respect other beings, and that really shows the really promoting, in a sense, that the like the, you know, universal love or universal compassion, you know, impartial love and compassion. You know, they're really advocating that, and it does work. And not only that, as His Holiness said, in a sense, that whole idea that everything is designed or created by God, it makes the actual practice for the follower, very simple, and so you just have to have faith, believe in the God, and so and that's all you need. You don't need to do anything, just and then follow the practice, and because it worked to many, so therefore His Holiness always admires that.
对，你那这也过了，在香港这这个我们尊重我真的给一些给些的些对啊，给那农把我尊重，怕这人家实在挺热，尊重人家是对我些个真是对啊，给那我接受对啊，一般对啊，其实这个我接受呢，一般对啊，给那些香港说的一些干的如今是捏不到的，是吧？ 로진은 예바 로진은 그 예바대로 개절 대비 대바들지. 애들은 뭐 서로진 나이 대세모다 로진은 그 개절 로제 대바는 너가 내 거의 세다 뭐도 강을로 만져도 거의 뭐 싫어하는 거 같네. 다 이시 되는다 잡아도 안 해야 되는 무슨 이시치를 초시 그거 하잖아. 내 초시 대화做的 장르로데 개절 대바들. 일단 얘기는 라 일단 얘기는 해서 치바라 이시 치바라지 나 개절 대바 대토는 땡대가 가서 노조서 뭐 땡대 세고 사는데 그래서 손들다 같은 비슷한 로로들이야.
So we know, His Holiness Dalai Lama is very strong in, promoting religious, harmonies in the world, and it is not, it is something, he truly believes that that there is, it does benefit, like for example, Christian, he said this kind of remark in front of like about over hundreds and 200,000 of people. He's praised to the other the benefits of the other religions' teachings. And also His Holiness always says how when you look at the Christianity's teachings, how there's a lot of emphasis on putting the welfare of other being, in our head, of the welfare of yourself, others before yourself. So that is which we say is like self, seeing the overcoming the self-cherishing mind. So which is also very much emphasized in the Christianities as well, and then but as you look there, and really the basis of that whole idea, why we should put the self, other, front of ourselves is belief in the God, the faith in the God, as God as a creation of all, and similarly. There's also a lot of emphasis on in the Christian, especially in the monastic order, where there's an emphasis on the simplicity of their livelihood for the monks, Christians, monks, and the nuns to adopt that. And again, that is also why the teaching is also again based on the faith in the God, Almighty God, and so therefore, on all these, the actual practices, of like the practice of the in Buddhism we say it's like the contentment and the less desire, which is very important practice, and likewise the practices of the overcoming the self-cherishing mind, or this self-centered mind is so much emphasized there. And so the only difference is that, as we're saying, in the Christianity, so really the main remedy, the main antidote to overcoming all this, self-cherishing mind and all that, that is you are cultivating your faith faith in God. That is where and
no mind, there's no mind. That's God. That's made God. No mind.
It is creation.
No mind. They look there. This God man. This God man. This God man. I know. This is art. This mind. That you all this. No, so that's this God. Really. Christianity very higher in the happiness. Really all that. That's God. So what was it? That's good. No, I'm no my. Yeah. You should have a deal or something. Don't keep it. Bands and low or something. What should be keep it? Tabat honor, young and it's by say, Chenny Mundua, and then I said, Mundua, and you could.
In there.
Church among any son go around. Yet died, that's something that the voice among any one. Some tended the mother, pebble, you are something sooner. I cheap a mother, they got to say, Tennis and Mother G, or Fender, she would do. Mother telling the charm among my poison, young eye, they poison. What you would tell them, roaches or never do I say that, and then another letter I was caught on you. I'm not telling you to a lesson,
so there definitely is some, the ideas and practices that which we can, even if we don't consider ourselves as a Christians, as a Buddhist, but that we can learn from the such as from some from the Christianities, and we will find that those are very effective in terms of like overcoming the self-cherishing mind. So like this is the and when you look at the order of the Christians, like monasticism, so where all the followers, the monks and nuns are very practical in living their life, such as nobody I understand that no one have their own a private like a saving, so there's only communities. So in a sense that's there's a strong idea that everything is a creation of God. So that means that nothing really is yours, and so there's no, so we normally, so the whole the problem that that we experience is all because of our this idea of this self-centered mind. So from there, then we have this idea of this is belong to mine, and that's yours, and there's all these divisions. But however, in Christian, when they follow that everything as a creation of the God, and so there's nothing which really you can claim for yourself, and so it works, and then it is really very beneficial. So that's why. His Holiness also remarked that according to his understanding of about the Bible, so there was something in the Bible where, although it has been kept secret, so there's a line which says that you can, if you follow my teaching, you can also become like me, achieve state like me, something like that, and no. So there is a line with saying, yeah, if you can also become like me.
Among energy, the opposite girls, take my sound yards, cut your barriers, take it to me in a machine that doesn't have such a message.
So I'm not sure, but there are some other, these some scholars saying that like this part, there are a lot of area in the Christian teachings which has been kept, secret.
Really sad. You know, my songs are dead. How come he thought that's on dead that she shared with you. She shared with she had let Jinset. That Jinset, she shared God, she had him and this on to her. She had money that Pego, so she shared good in this end. So she had money that Pego, she had him and this on to her. This is about it, it's not bad on her. She shared with Jinset Garden. Jinset saw yeah, they are not there that you want there. They are dead, you want there, they are sad. They are driven, you must say, she can't run like some table, that she the dream name, this on top. That dream name, that is on title, that dream name. That dream name, that is share, the legal chili, Nipad. Right, Nidel, the reason why the dog, and the shares, Uruka, Nidel, using young in Nipad, there is a dream nigger, the nigger. No rejection, Tanjo talk. Then Shira Sabo, she, and Jazz and then engaged in the children chat days, then dread nipper dead, the Genzo days, and turn nipper dead.
So the first point that which we need to understand is that I must or I need to practice dharmas, and so this the reasons why one must practice dharma is to recognize that the dharma is the only true means. It's really the only true means which can through which we can achieve happiness and to eliminate suffering. So in order to see that I must practice dharma, so we really have to see that the clearly recognize that how really the dharma is the true means, the true effective means to find happiness and eliminate sufferings, and then having understood that gain the understanding that the dharma is indeed the true means of finding happiness and eliminating sufferings, then of course the next question is that to put the dharma into practice, follow the dharma, and then the question is whether do I have potential, do I have a capacity to follow the dharma practice, and so this is what the second point is to understand that to gain a conviction that yes, I have not only dharma is only the means to a true means to find happiness and to eliminate suffering, but also I have the capacities, or I can't practice dharmas. So in a way, literally, in Sanskrit, so a person, a term for the person is called puruka, which is in Tibetan Kibbu. So that word has the connotation of someone with potentials, one with capacities, and so as that says, so we need to look what potential we have, what capacity we have, and so in order to see our capacity, then we have to reflect upon the fact upon in terms of our the physical external condition and the internal conditions which we have in our life. And so with the internal conditions. So we're talking about the form of life that we have achieved as a human being, and so we have to recognize and appreciate the unique or the feature, of as a human being in terms of our human intelligence and our sense of the discriminating things and so forth, and then the outer conditions, of course, then all the favorable outer living condition, and in terms of the Dharma, we have to to have the having a contact, having a meeting with the perfect teachings and perfect spiritual guides. So when we look into all those, recognize all those wonderful internal and external conditions, and then from that we can understand, we can that we do have all the opportunity, we do have the potential to follow the Dharma. Then the third point, so which is to come to conclusion that I must practice Dharma in these lifetimes, in this current or present life. And now to the reason why we need to practice Dharma in these lives, then in Buddhism, then there is topics where we think we reflect on the rarity of finding the same life, the life that we have got now again, and so there's in that topic, so we have to understand that we cannot assume that we will find the same light again. So
God is a so dead, neither when I learn about the case here, no case of what you are. Run, not give a run, the tender drug is not neither you are temptation, not don't tear the bala, never dem Nika go, Madata, Rungi tear the bala, never dem you tenita, on the mother little calicon, yes, it tells you. Lots of better, it's only Shobotan. So tender, Nipa, got that's a drug. pass on the wrong ones on this, they got the bad shooting long. So the tender me the dripping never got and made joke for this. Me driven done never so the California, the son to little on so ten shake or 1,000 send a drug, but yes, it had.
So if we follow from that, the previous point, which is that to understand, to come to the understanding that we have the potential, we have the capacity to practice dharmas, and so that have a strong implication that like for example, if we have to practice, if we have to put achieve whatever we want to achieve, like our goal or to anything that we wish to achieve, then it is obvious that we have to understand that the best time, the best opportunity for us to fulfill that goal, fulfill that desire, is when we have all the conditions are there, all the which enable all the factors to be able to achieve all the goals are all there. So that is the time that we have to, we can achieve our goal. So therefore it's saying that we, in the next point when it says that we should practice Dharma in this life, so which is to imply that we're not, even although we have this opportunity, but to understand that this opportunity that we have is a very extremely rare one, and it's not something that we're going to get get again and again, and so in here when we think on this also touches on this whole idea of the life, before and life after. So it brings that up, and that is also now not only Buddhism, even most of the old other religions, they all they assert this the idea of life before and after. Like we know that even in Christianity it's also said that when people die, then their soul, which will go to the future, and where the soul will go. So it depends on this, how the person during in his lifetime, how much person live the life according to the gods, the guidelines, the teachings. So therefore they're talking about. We can see there's a lot of the common element. We can really see a lot of common in what it says in Christians. When you die, whether you go to the next destination will be either will be good or the bad one. So Buddhism also says the same things, and so except that we relate these to the law of karmas. So in this way, it's important to understand it. This third point is also very important. In order to having, after we not only we have recognized our potentialities but at the same time to in order to live the life according to the Dharma, and put the Dharma into practice in this very lifetime. So that's what is very important.
je la so ida tata ni che ge tata ni che ge je la je te pa ju je wa ma pa ju ni de mo ya ma lo je ma de lo ma de se da je ma de se tata ni je ge da dai te to ba ji la bi shen ta mo ta ba de le
then the fourth point, so which as it says, which that we must practice Dharma, Dharma now, and so the reason why we need to practice Dharma. So when we think on this reason, then is this we have to take into the account of the facts of the death, the truth of the death. So which is death can come, in terms of the time when the death will come. There's no indefinite time. So therefore when we think of the how how quickly we can lose this life, and so therefore there's no, we cannot be delayed, or the time of the practice of practicing Dharma to, instead of practicing now, we delay to the next month, saying that I'll practice next month, and if you do that, then we might even delay to the next year, and so therefore in that way to procrastination. So we will never actually put Dharma into practice. So therefore, this fourth point, reflecting on the fact that why we must practice Dharma now is also very important. Listen, Doga, I tell you, listen, you say the Robert Donkey or Chi. Don't be cheated, take a shot. That's it. Nobody in the shot is so saying the thousand. Tanda, Tongue Katan. And Dema Shagun, then, Duma Damadella, Mataba, Duma, Tonga damage into a pie shot, Mataba Conline. And so, Pimbo, Yan, Pimbo, Mataba, just till it. Then Mataba, that man drove your mind. Ten drove. Ten drove, that and the lion. Man drove, man remember children, no, she has the Kawashion, Kadisha, then no children, and looking my shadow, Kakayama, some paper. That Yama, is she not in it? Sombosia, the city, so don't be cheated about this year. Yambasia thinking so debated about that. That's seven young detail, so the shabby children, that taking a number of shine. Some dead was right, some dead was there. Some three or that day, Tanda. Ben and Deja, the little pass on Merman Rowan. Don't rob them. Run, eh? Yes, or not, Shanana, but you want didn't do so the one that the run told the new. You want to do the one Jipaji. John was you. Jipaji, John, you tell a sharp, you Shannon's chain. No sharp chain with her. There's a Shannon tenny, then get you a Shandor chain. Can you lodge so then Mugetable? Gadget, Mugetable, Papona, Shama, Dendrotaman,
Nyambare, so the high no combo, Nyambare, so the Lojon, Tadi, Mother Roa, Matapa, do not know Tames, but Lojo, never you lodge the more Mother, then Lord Comba, Combi, Lord Timmy, the mother, the same tune, Anthony, you are Tati, Kanga, Yan, then got so much from the little Mother Mazana, Mother Mazala, that's it. Yeah, don't Mother come and tumble it. He said, I didn't tumble it. So, Jabapuma, Majele Puma, Matu Japuma, Mother, Lawyer Puma. The Chama says, Majan, Maget, Papon, Govan. He said, I didn't put it. There's not Mana, no cigarette, but they come to their level. I said, don't tell them, tell him, we get to the Papon. Yeah, just done. I saw them. Shaman, they don't know, Lord, they don't know what you are. Not dead and no. Tens of suck, how can you go on? Any applicants, so Jabba, that's about more than that. That's something that's not dead over there.
So the last point when so by which we have to realize, we need to realize that I must practice Dharma now. So in that point, so we meditate. We need to meditate on the impermanent. That is a transient nature of our life, including our life. And so this, so something if we we find in this in the teaching of the Four Noble Truths. So there's a first noble truth, which is the noble truth of the sufferings. And the sufferings, when the meditation on that, when we elaborate it, then there's four aspects or the four characteristics. So one of such as the impermanent is the one, and then the meditate on the impermanent, meditate on the sufferings, then the empty and the selfless. So there is we need to understand. So in here specifically the impermanence of our life, and then we think we have to reflect on the fact that the fact that how there will be time when we will lose this life, and then at the end of our life, after when we lose the life, then or after death, then it's not the not the case that where upon the death, then we as this I or become like extinguished, or along with this I, there's also we have the mind of the, so this continuing of the mind, it also doesn't get extinguished. So this is where we talk about going to the next rebirth. So like we were saying, same thing. Even Christianity also mentioned when people if they going to the heaven or to the hell. So and they also there's a lot of the guidelines to how the way to go to the heaven is to have a faith in God and following, living the life according to the God's message and their teachings. And whereas if you don't follow that, then you'll go to the hell. So in the same way, so from the Buddhist point of view, so it is to do with we talk about the virtue practice, or the spiritual practice, or to something like evil, evil deeds or evil practice, and so in all we to elaborate that those so basically those ethical practices of like 10 virtues. We practice 10 virtues, or refraining from 10 non-virtues. So again, how we also see the can be in a different explanation, but see the same list of the 10 virtue or the 10 non-virtue in the Christianity as well. We see the same emphasis of the same ethical practice. So so therefore it is to really in order to understand that that why one must practice Dharma and also the Dharma right now, Dharma at this in this life and now is because how you go to, if we have to reflect upon why there's some sort of urgency in practicing Dharma now is because how when because we face a situation where if the death can come any moment, and then when it comes, and then where we will take rebirth, and we have to not just thinking that, but we have to reflect on those the possibility of even if how like if we can be born in a lower rebirth such as animal, then we even imagine how as an animal what sort of the disadvantages that we would have. And so all these meditations on the death impermanence and on the various types of sufferings that exist in the different related to different form of life. So these are all very explained in great detail in the there's a teaching of the on the stages of the path. So if we refer to the stages of the path of the for the person with the small scope, so you find a great detail about that. So in a sense, when we actually meditate on following those stages of the teaching in the stages of the path, and if you meditate on those sufferings of that on those like for example, if you do not practice dharmas, then how there's a possibility for us to take fall into the lower rebirth. And when we really think on these, we can feel some sort of sense of fright and sense of fear, and can really arise in our mind. And at the same time, in order to we also need to reflect on how if we live the life according to the law of karma, such as the practicing the 10 virtues, then to understand, because that is the cause. Practicing virtue is the main cause to find good rebirth. And then again, if we develop faith in practicing virtue, and to the point that how if we practice virtue, then there is no need to doubt that that we will find a good rebirth, happy rebirth in futures. So therefore, we can understand the way it works is because the continuum of our mind goes to our future life, and with the mind we also the self, at the time of death, this, as we're saying, our mind and as well as the self doesn't get destroyed, it doesn't get destroyed. So therefore it goes there. So therefore, with that mind, the continuum of the mind which goes to the future life. So if it carries the imprints of our virtues, things that we've done, because our virtues practice in our life, then these become like almost like all these virtues practice that we accumulate in this life is almost like it's accompanied, or like a supporting the ourself and the continue the mind to the to the future life, and so therefore we understand that how as it is said when we talk about taking refuge in 3 jewels, and then of the 3, the Dharma jewel is the actual or the direct refuge, give you the direct refuge or the protections, so we can understand how it is that which at the time of death that which really prevent one from falling to lower rebirth is the accumulated dharma in our mind.
치계죠 걸러니는 파피제를 만들려면 돼요. 내가 내가 저기 내가 샤도 깔이 강도 좋아하세요. 그래? 나 얘는 좀 파파. 소제제는 아주 치대 미스컬을 말 거도 잔잖아. 이건 치대는 아주 지야 저희 타서 샤진은 만들 내가 하고 좋아. 내가 만들 것도 하고 좋아. 나 얘는 좀 좋으세요. 그랬더니 당연히 치계죠 걸러니는 만들 키샤니 세대 아도 때 용어는 돼. 대샤도 내가 강어야. 이게는 용어야. 파피샤도 파피 공부터 봐. 얘는 파 로니 얘는 공부터 파피샤래. 됐어. 로니 뭐 로샤래. 됐어. 이 뭐네 마샤 너게 양 토사들에 좋아가. 이 대응하는 샤도 롱 코면 좋아. 气象你的气现在这个像你这现在我的老天爷现在这下头俺都老可以都搞康起的吧他罗了像你吃的是他容生定下个的容生定没个这么吃的定就是在下用个些没都可得问的吧这原来俺都用的吧这算多的랑 모델 라데 이게 타사해 그래. 이나 다 대과들 다선 대도서. 다 대체제제 얘는 저는 손도나 야부야 돼. 다선 대도. 다 대선도는 나 치셰. 치셰근데 치세를 간데서 치셰가 됐어. 나르마 담아서 소스를 치래. 다 담아서 가리 나서. 나 치셰가 치 가리 나서. 反正这样嘛，他说这话不管是去谁管，买进来不管去谁管，但老也不管去谁管，这是去谁管，但去谁肯定是去谁，没谁肯定是不的，是上头的嘛，这去谁管的。
So so what really protect one from falling to lower rebirth or from the from suffering. So it is our own the Dharma practice that and through the Dharma practice that is some sort of positive imprint or positive energies that which we live in our own mind. So that is the real that positive energy, positive qualities that which we live in our mind, in our mind. So that serve as a real refuge, real protections, and so therefore and the normally we hear that in order to prevent the bad rebirth or to falling oneself from falling to bad rebirth, so we should take refuge in three jewels, the three jewels of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Right now, if you study these three jewels properly, and then in a more detail, then what we will find is that when we talk about the Dharma as a refuge, as a Dharma jewel, then it's talking about it's really referring to the qualities which you achieved by some on a higher spiritual path. such as the quality possessed by the Arya or the superior beings we're talking about. So that is, technically, so Dharma jewel refer to the inner realizations and some sort of quality, which we say like the truth of the cessation quality of this, the sensations which these the superior being possess of the cessation of the sufferings. So that is referred to as the true Dharma jewel. So which, when we think about that, which we do not have, and so how the, when we say, when we follow the Dharma, how we will we receive a refuge. So, but since we haven't achieved those the quality, we it's quite far away from for us to reach there. So we can't see, we cannot really connect ourselves to that. And as well as when we talk about the Sangha jewel, then really is referring to those highly evolved spiritual beings who have gained these Dharma qualities of like the Dharma jewels, like and the truth of sensations. And again, we are not that. We are still far to become like that. So therefore, from this perspective, really what gives us the real refuge, real protection is our own practices, spiritual practice, such as as we're saying here, the ethical practices of like refraining from 10 non-virtuous actions, like non-virtuous action of killing, of stealing, sexual misconduct. So these, the good ethical practice that which we adopt in our life, and this really serve us as a refuge, as a protection from fallen born rebirth, or from the various problems and the sufferings. So now overall, so what these are four things, 4 points that we just discussed here. So these are something which maybe you should meditate on, and really very find it very beneficial in terms of your enhancing your spiritual practice. And then now at the end, now let's say if you decide to practice the Dharma now, and then the next question is what is that Dharma that one practice, and so that's the something that we need to in Sanskrit say Dharma is like what Dharma is a Sanskrit term, which Tibetan is a chö. So what does that mean? So generally we say that everything is Dharma, because the Dharma means that which like maintain something that will maintain its own entity, its own nature, its own entity of the nature. So, for example, even this cup on the table, which is we call it, that's also dharma or chö, and because it has own, when we look at that cup, we get some sort of perception of a very specific object, which is that particular cup, and because it has as a cup, it has its own unique characteristics, maintains it. But then the dharma here, of course, when we talk about dharma, we're talking about some dharma which we like a spiritual practice, which we put into practice, and so what that means. So we can we say that is the benefit of that of practicing this spiritual, the dharma is in terms of in terms of when we say in the context of this general meaning of the dharma as something which protects. So here we can then we can say interpret it that protect in the sense of protecting us from falling into the like a lower rebirth or into some into unwanted sufferings. So that we can still see the meaning, general meaning, relate general meaning of dharma to our dharma as a spiritual practice, as a noble practice, and then there's also generally there's also explanation of dharma as something practice, which through which so we can stop, we can prevent our mind from following, going mind under, falling under the influence of like certain a false view or like a perverted view, but then the directing rather redirecting or the mind towards the right object, right directions. So that's the general meaning that you find, and also this is also the general meaning of dharma also goes very much well with the meaning of the meditation practice. What is meditation practice is also very much is same as fits with the meaning of the dharma as well. So we can we say that the practice of refraining from the act of killing is regarded as a spiritual practice. So why this is a spiritual practice. So of course one thing that which is very obvious is that it shows the respect to other life of other beings, and also through that the following that practice, then we in a way that we are benefiting, extending benefit to other beings.
Yeah, that's something. The card is so so Java said, let's say I'm going to tell you, so you send me what I tell you. Yell never said, Yell never said, so again, wrong again, never said, King Yambo wrong you are. She not as so Yammo, but that Yambo's logo. So Japan, so gave Yammo, Carol Yambo. Logisho Carol, Nese show Tilichi Doni, Pesa show sitting, this one I election. That Nemo Garden rather, so Jen never should Nese king, never know. That's a new pass on the bay away. Right. Is that the children never but 10 days will ride. Then on the 10 years, Nese boy, Yabo, the Nese Nolas don't get it. 10 days on you. Yeah. So the Nese, God is Nese poor then get taken. You just chest, Roman. Yeah. Chawa, so that you just should be at the road. Such must attend the lesson. There's on another son tonight. She said, Dunna, Pentoya, drug giver, drug neighbor, Tatanian drug giver, $10, Tatanian drug giver, this she can do. Then you'll let you. So, point, you let you no matter mother she time, that is the direction. Think on a Macorola Pento, Majella Pento. Wrong is necessary, Yamato think it. Never tell me to take that. The day that shall Gale, son to son go Gale, son mother, home mother, the son to the Galicon, that shall also that. And Chichen, everyone draw around my chin. Some Sabbath Galicon water, Sabbath Galicon water. Coro Janga Nisha, the Conson to Janga and Toa. You know, the time some so good there. The son of Calatona called Rante, son of Matona, Hongole, the Janga, the direct. And the mother of the chair that you call me younger, and the Janga say, oh, my home, then called Janga and Tumudua. Is that something to the dark was not there, it had been but there.
But in the context of the practice of not refraining from the act of killing, just in that, how we can understand that as a Dharma practice, and then the effect. If you look into the effect of that, such practice, then we can understand how this, in order to put this into practice, we have to, first of all, we need to overcome the within us this thought of harming others, this ill thought towards others. So therefore, how it's important. We are just talking in this context of this example of what is this practice of this moral practice of refraining from killing. So what's important, whatever Dharma practice we engage in, so it has some it should be some sort of overcoming certain such the afflictive emotions within ourselves, and such as this in here. So we through this engaging in the practice of this moral ethic of refraining from killing, so we are overcoming such harmful thoughts towards others, and then through this, and which is really the serve as a basis for us to then to cultivate love and compassion towards others, being kind to others, being friendly, being loving to others. So it is all based on that, and so therefore it's important to understand, to really to recognize this the benefit of such in practicing Dharma in our life. Not only for benefit for other beings, but even for oneself. How this has the benefit of really the putting rest in one's mind, and also to enhancing more peace, and and more sense of like the happiness within ourselves, and so therefore the we, as we were just saying before, how in general the meaning of the Dharma, so where with the practice of Dharmas on the one hand, so we are whatever practice we do, we are through the practice of Dharma, we're trying to something to prevent or to overcome some unwanted thoughts and emotions within ourselves, and that what is so important to whenever we engage in practice. That's why it's important to direct our focus of practice on that, to overcoming certain such mental afflictions, and then along with that, on the positive side, then we are also at the same time cultivating certain positive qualities within ourselves. So, like for example, we are saying as we work to overcome such a holding harmful and such ill thought towards others. So, what on the positive side we're trying to develop is positive mental qualities such as love, compassion, and very caring and good-hearted towards others, and so therefore we can really appreciate the how through Dhamma practice, and how as we develop all these positive qualities within our mind, and then how this can then immediately benefit one in terms of the finding more, getting more peace and happiness in one's own life. So of course it is not to understand all these and the benefit of Dharma, and also to put the practice of Dharma. Of course, it does take a bit of time, and but it might be a bit different for many of you. So we've been following Dharma for a while, so you can relate a lot of things we have discussed here as something to your life, and you will see something meaningful. But however, when you are completely new to Dharma, sometimes you can hear whatever people hear from me. So it totally kind of at least on the immediate time frame, it go against their belief systems, their view, and something, and they can almost like everything go against, and so therefore they cannot accept that, find it difficult to accept. But however, then it can happen afterward. They take a time and then go back, and in certain time they might revisit to what you have heard before, and then somehow it can make some sort of sense.
That's
and as to those who follow the pure Dharma practice or Dharma path, and then we will find that there are we can find there are three different types of or we can categorize into three different types of the practitioners, being, and depending on what they what they wish to achieve or their desires, and so we say on the person of like a small scopes, the middling scope or the great scopes. So the desire or the wish of the person with small scope, so is really the goal of the person with small scope is really confined to just finding a good rebirth in future life, such as the birth of as a human being or as a celestial or godly being. And then the next to that, there are some practitioners then who are not satisfied with just simply achieving this good rebirth, but they wish to they see a reason and they see a wish to achieve the state of liberations, from cyclic existence. So they see they perceive the happiness of the state of the liberations from cyclic existence, and so that's like the middling, the person with the middling scope, and then finally the person with great scope. So they who understand that it is not not sufficient, not good enough simply to perceiving this the goal for oneself, but they wish to get aimed at achieving or leading all the sentient being, all other sentient being to the perfect state of complete enlightenment, and so therefore that's the person of great scopes.
There's some death. Some death over the last same tradition. Call me Lord and the Master. You might be checky, La Mataba, Dumani, Tony Tang, and Share Chinchi Lord David Martini, that is here in Ba. Nyalaji Pimota, Mataba, Rabada. Cham Mataba Rabala, so Tilichi, Son Dona, Gason and Jimmy, Gasota, Jim Tarisha, Yen, Nando, Rosa, Rosa, Casa China, and I just saw it, and plus or something like you might say something. That was a Tarisha in Ba, the drop. There is any shabby, gives the standard ship. Even Mogetibo, parts of the street, then I like what she told us. They have Chungal Bajana. Take that Lord, but tell us, I tell Lord, but Mashi, who are the Lord, by Abu the level. Never had me, Kumbo, quite young on the time. This is quite the one was Sonny. Tell the Tabati lawyer. That's on a Monday, Tabati lawyer. Then Lowas and your life to me, what the call to a Jig do what they saw the Maja, roll the Chiparishan deuces, Tabacol or some Matoaje. Jumana, the Chiparan deuce, Chipar, down the Jumam, the Chiparan. Says maybe so to be chewed of a chain unit. Rojebo Tata Jene, Lesam, send your phone, they are to the Juma to the Mata, German do so night. Not the leg on it, I shall send the laws on her. She says, and you get such a unit. I tell the mother, the Ganda Tinu Woodwang and the son on the rock, son continue. Matapa, some Duma, some tell you what you are. They don't want damage, take it out, log on the Batini or that, they wrote out. When you got the son of tennis or home, the time under to say, I'm married, but the owner lawyer married. The day he has on a we are under the Lema, Davaja, the Yuma Damba, Benju Damba, Padre Damba, Lord Damba, Lade, 대자 좋아. 다 등마 대만 만도 예 되게 근데 근데 대마제 등마세 이제 레도 영문인들에서 좀 대도 라데스 다 바비지들에 여기는 등마가 자제고 자자세 바고 들리시는 아제 모자세 대를 자기 자제 다 대선도다 전부터 다 등마들 선도 등마들 선도를 등마들다 여기는 가서 뭐야 다 이제 영화 처한 되게 영화세네 아래 영화 처한 되게 영화서 누가 어떨 만에 선도 하나다 그래다 선대들로 정말 잘 된다고 하던데 대사 대어에 다 선대들도 안다
So this we just mentioned about the those three stages of the path relating to those the person of small, medium, and great scope. Now, if we look into this, the Four Noble Truth, teaching on the Four Noble Truth, and then starting from the Noble Truth of sufferings, so which which can be meditated on by reflecting on the four aspects of the suffering. So the first two, which are the impermanence and then the sufferings. So how now there's you can as to meditating on those the impermanent and the sufferings sufferings. So there are different levels of that we can meditate on. So like as to the as a person of their small scope, so they really normally meditate on those like this the suffering or the impermanent on rather more on a very impermanent on a very coarse form of impermanence. And then to understanding, like we were just saying before, to reflecting on the fact that how this life is subject to the death, and then how they're reflecting on the fact that after death, so there's only really two destinations for for the future, whether you go to the lower rebirth or to the higher rebirth, and then thinking on reflecting on all these the disadvantages or the sufferings that exist in the lower rebirth, and so they they cannot bear themselves to see them to fall into that. So therefore, out of these kind of fear of being taking rebirth in the lower rebirth, so therefore they follow this spiritual practice, so which such as taking refuge in three jewels, and then following the moral practice of refraining from the 10 non-virtues. So all these practices then are the means for them to prevent the lower rebirth, and then of course then the person as a person of middling scope. So again it's the same. They can meditate on the same on the impermanence, and then and especially when they meditate on the suffering. So they not only they see sufferings in that lower rebirth, but they see suffering nature in all the form of the life. So therefore they they seek to not only to they understand that it is in order to achieve, in order to free themselves from the suffering nature, so they must achieve the liberation, state of liberation from the cyclic existence. So therefore, they the practices, the main practice they engage in is, which include the threefold trainings, and so we are just going through this very quickly, but we can see how this we can get some idea of this how the Fourth Noble Truth can be served as a framework for all these personal practitioners to achieve their own spiritual goal. So then finally when we think talk about the person of the great scope, so their focus is not so much on the achieving liberation, so rather they're more concerned, focusing is more on not only their own suffering, but more on the suffering that exists in the entire spectrum of this cyclic existence of all the sufferings that all other sentient beings go through, and so they feel this sense of compassion towards all other sentient beings, and so therefore we will find in this more detailed scriptures how then the rooted in that out of that compassion as a root cause, then they cultivate or generate the bodhicitta mind, and which seeking enlightenment, complete enlightenment, in order to benefit all sentient beings. So in this way, it's good to here we are just going to very quickly. So just we can reflect on this Four Noble Truths, the Noble Truth of sufferings. First one, so which we can to some which we know, which we already have, the Noble Truth of sufferings. Like this this body or life. It is that, and then the Noble Truth of the origin is talking about the cause of this. Talks about the cause of this suffering life that we have, and then the Noble Truth of the cessations. So is the freedom or the cessation of these sufferings, which happens, which we can actualize, after we uproot all the cause of the sufferings, and then the path, the truth of the path of the sufferings. So it is the realization, the spiritual or the inner realizations which we reach when we gain to the state of like Arya or superior beings. When we reach that state, so there is we have the inner realizations, so which kind of directly opposes or remedy the root cause of the sufferings. So therefore, that is the true path of the truth of the path to the cessation of sufferings. So if the first the double truth of sufferings, so which the we need to it's very important as part of this training our mind. So which we need to reflect. It's very important to reflect upon these the various the types of the sufferings that exist. And then the after that, then we need to reflect on the fact that is there a cause to the sufferings, and then so as we know that how that everything we accept the fact that everything is depends on the causes and conditions. So therefore there must be also cause for the sufferings. Without cause, the suffering, it's impossible for suffering to arise. And so now on this then the the Christianity so has a very simple answer to that, which doesn't need to think too hard. So that is the God. So everything is designed or creation by God. So we just leave it there and just believe in that. And but however, in here, so we we find that which here we just go into again very quickly. So we point to the to karma.
Yeah.
And
karma and delusions.
And the delusions.
We're confused.
and which is
that God is very easy. That God can't that. What is there karma or delusions? Very bad.
So very complicated.
More thinking, large thinking. That's God can't that very easy. No question, nothing. Just work. Very easy. What is there karma or delusion? How much karma, how much delusion? All most delusion. Delusion and good mind, bad mind, and truth mind, all that. No matter if you want to wrong, Repeat everything wrong. Temboya, 내가 저 내가 이제 될 수도 그러나 때 거의 반대 제대 되는 너가 제 레바코는 뭐 너무 좋아. 솔직하니 레바코로네. 네게 대 시간 뭐 코드 네발때기 되게 너무 좋아. 되게 리피트 또 좋아 이제. 아 되는 다 sonda.
So even though the Buddhisms lead us to a very complicated and very very complex the ideas of this when we talk about this the concept of karma and the delusions, and these are very extensive, very complex. But however, what we can see is that Buddhism, why they introduce this complex is all to do with is all because Buddhist teachings is all very much based on this reasoning, reasoning and analysis. You cannot simply accept the things. We have to. There must be some reasons, and so it's very much based on that. And then even so, therefore in long run, so the whatever the conclusion that we reach through this teaching, then it becomes very very solid, very stable, because it is backed by the reasonings. So therefore now we have to there's a question of we have to ask this question about the cause of the sufferings, and then whether is the noble truth of the origin of the suffering. So in that we meditate on that. So in order to come to understanding that the cause of the origin or the cause of the suffering is something which we need to must be eliminated, must be the abandons, and so therefore we need to think the question of as we reflect on the truth truth of the sufferings, and then trying to think on whether the suffering has there is an end to the suffering or not. We have to ask this question, and that really relates to the cause of the suffering, and then the cause of suffering, which are primarily mainly the true, whether it is the karma or the mental delusion. And then again, if you look there, of the true, then the mental delusions is the more like a important cause, more important than the karma, and then again, if you look when you talk about the delusion or the mental afflictions, then there are also, we can talk about so many different types of the mental affliction, and then at the end it is said that really the root, the main one is the ignorance.
Yes, that's
or you will find sometimes the delusions can be categorized into three main ones, like a three-person state of mind, like the desires and the anger and then the ignorance. So now again, of the three, then the ignorant is the main one. So therefore, the question of whether there is no. So it is because of the due to the ignorance. It's due to the ignorance that then we we accumulate karma, which throw us into bind us within this cycle existence.
never need to come like you are. Someone must shoot over here, must shoot over there. Maju Corolla the knee are any days at dance, dance here. Mamma, level, teachers, didn't baby shoulder, and Chabati, Monday shoulder, and Kulish left. Don't want to know it. That teeth on them, other regard shame. Regards on a thing or your mother, they chill. They regard on a share, she will do it. Now, Kindle, mother, and do not have, not she will do it. The child do not them, mother, she will do it. Not do this and Roger let the young one change, such a thing it was do this. I don't do my devil again, such a left and you said that, leg and never tell less of the master she will do it. That less on me, never think less on leg, shall shame to my yard, the understand 2 minutes. Yeah, control do my share, one do. The job do my share, one do. Machine, movie, or do my share, one do. Telling other chapa my share, and little how was it, not to get a red about the sum to them. Tanda share. Young, I make a child left thing with such a do not tell you what, touch another song to my UG. Couldn't take a do not share. They just do not share. The name, Gada, let me do not share. One tomorrow. That day only another legal time and they are more than one two.
So if you look into these three poisonous state of mind, like the desire, anger, and ignorance, and then we can understand how because of these three that we can relate what kind of actions that what we do, and then as an outcome of our actions, that what we experience, we can understand that. For example, how we can observe how sometimes our actions are really motivated by strong desires, and then as a result of that, that we end up, sometimes we can relate certain, suffering, certain problem that we find is we can relate to that because we started from the desire, not being able to, calming the desire, and likewise we can relate a lot of our problem and suffering to the anger, and how because of that we do certain actions which will make us regret in the latter on. And similarly, we can also relate, sometimes it is because of our the ignorance, our lack of knowledge, that we make certain mistake, or not able to do certain thing, and as a result of that we can see this suffering. So we can relate, even in this context of our life, our own experience, we can relate how the suffering that we experience are caused by these delusions, or the mental affliction, and our actions. So of course, we also say that all the future, suffering, even beyond this life, what we find, experience of suffering. So this is also this is something, even though something is not obvious and not in our perception at the moment, but it's also here it's saying that it's also related to this cause. So the affliction, so the karma and the delusion of the afflictions, and so So at the end, the root cause of this is the ignorance, and then with the ignorance, if we investigate, if we analyze this ignorance which sits in our mind through applying the reasoning and through valid reason, then how through this ignorance, whatever the perception, how we conceive things, the perceive things to exist, and through the ignorance. And so now, if we analyze those perception, then we can see that there is these are all to our reasoning mind, to our knowledge, analytical mind. So we can see that these are all wrong. They are all false, and so therefore the fact that we can be able to recognize this ignorance, has no backup of whatever we see. To ignorance has no basis, no good support. So that shows that ignorance can be eliminated, and so therefore we can see through that what we call the noble truth of the cessation of the suffering. So that is because when we see that the ignorance has no the backup of the valid reasons, and we cannot validate this ignorance. So it shows it can be ignorance can be eliminated. So therefore it is possible to achieve the noble truth of the cessation of sufferings, and then the next then the truth. In order to achieve the truth of cessation is something to be what we learn is something to be achieved or actualized within ourselves, and the truth of the path is the means which we need to follow or rely on in order to actualize this the truth of cessation.
Nyamo said, called Shesoni, Seji Marushi, Mata Shengi, and the Shella Chesan, Seji Nyamo said, don't know my mother said, then Yamoyunga. Nyamoya. Shochin Yamoja. Shochin Chan, the jet, you say, thought, then Zodo Chin, Mandeshan, the same kitchen, the machine, Wudua. Jen Yamoja, Chan, the mother, Zobo Chan, the jet, you must do chap and the shepherd. Then Yamo Paja, she bought their chapby, chapby, Chasa, chap. Lang about the shepherd, Chavan the said in the Shengua. That needs that on Tenet on the town, attended Sadati, the budget, the children. I don't cost Sena, Luma, Shiga, then I said, when you want where a poor shingle, you are that on Tenet or something. And no man of that, it is a good Calican. My Calican, Chero Calican, when the young Calican, tell the chum de us. No Calican, Dumale. Duma Sassan or Dumale, have won that.
So the most the important thing is to try to recognize this the teaching on this Four Noble Truth as something which is which we can apply, which we can relate in our own practice. So it's not to be seen as something which is distant from ourselves, and so like when we look into these Four Noble Truth, like Noble Truth of sufferings, and then the causes of and the origin of the sufferings. So as we can understand as we learn in the teaching. So at the same time, we can relate all these Four Noble Truth to some to extent to our own life. For example, this form of this body that we possess, the life that we possess, is indeed, we call it the contaminated, the life which is a aggregation of the various, of the contaminated, things, and so which is the noble truth of sufferings, and the it's because it is this life, this contaminated aggregate. It does serve as a basis, or as a repository, like a holder of all this, the karma, afflicted karma, or the delusion, and together with all the tendency or the impression of those mental delusion and karma. This is all the holder. This body, this life is a holder of all that, and at the same time, it is the cause for us to accumulate more, like the karma, and to generate more, increase more mental delusion. So so in this way, we're trying to relate to understand that how this, when we talk about the cause of the sufferings, or the truth of the origin of the suffering. So we are talking about our own origin is nothing but our own, this like we talk about, like a desire, three main delusions, whether desires, the anger and ignorance, which also we all possess that. And then also, if we refer to text, then there's further more explanation of elaboration of the different types of like even the root delusions, like other, like pride, jealousy, and so forth. So we understand, we recognize all these as this is how even when we meditate, we do engage in meditation practice. So we should try to focus on this, focus on the understanding this suffering nature of those life, and understanding the afflictive emotion that we generate as a cause, and so therefore to whatever meditation practice we engage in, so we should try to the direct, making sure that meditation is served as a cause to remedy this cause of the sufferings, to like overcoming such as like anger, and also even if we if we experience certain strong force of certain mental delusion that can be an immediate cause of suffering for us, like we other day we learned about the fact that how when we look about the definitions of the mental affliction or delusion, so which is an emotion, is a state of mind which how the moment it arises in our continuums, then it makes us feel like I feel the restless, and the moment it arises, whatever peace we have, we lose that, and also it has some very negative influence on us, and that is a sign of that. We feel some sort of unease and discomfort, and sometimes even for no reasons. So these are all to try to understanding that these are all from where this is arising. So is we have to understand this is the indication. This is the because of the presence of these such mental delusions, and so in this way, like we depending on the type of the mental delusions. If suppose in order to overcome the strong, like the anger, so we can engage in the practice of like cultivating patience, or cultivating loving kindness. So how by the applying our meditation practice, the aiming our meditation practice towards overcoming this a delusion within our mind, then we can have the immediate, as we practice, and as a benefit or as an outcome of our practice, we'll find there's more peace, more happiness within ourselves. So on this note, so Geshe said we should stop here, because otherwise, if we keep going on, that would, instead of reducing more suffering, it might add more suffering. Right, yeah.
they have a mess of I send up a control level, control the sign. Control salary, they show them, Jella never shanty shares with home and lost your leg in the Colossus. That come I said, couldn't you the sages yard, Rome ever shot a gets leg. Couldn't think only shot is so much in with you. Says you are. Call layers on a charity corridor. This tell easy less take. That's so much take for candies, isn't it? Lima less shade, you are. Lima less shade, never tell her, let her a car shape. Says she got. Column has young and a column there. The column was on them by you. The column color less a color common yard. The color the young G sages. So no shit wrong never by yellow car shape. Right, that telling other less on the less it, huh? They were less on in the kitchen, the morning, less on the column was lemon over there, le color with an itch, do my shade. That dash in that, do my shade in that, Nipa, the same thing, judge. When a shot I gathered, shot some of the shot let him pass, let then shot I let the answer, same thing, judge. Then go out China, then Yapua, then has something to show the Yapua, and you're like in a child attention. Ra, could and there, Debajan, look at you, Debay. Then it's on the side. You know, that's on to there. Could then Debajan, could you Debay? Kill then, Langabasa. Let it never matter, you want to say, could look at them there. Yeah? Son tennis cannot tell one to her. Never tennis share happening to anything. You cannot matter there. Then there's a trouble share tennis on to the other. Can you them? Yeah. Can you them about the cards and the kill the lang about it? Lang ever never got and never do want them, not do one devil. Something to one as us, there's a touch and one as us. The nature says son corner. Yet the son of her pen to share a yard. No, no, Killer Trouble and Trouble Trump, and they are my ass. And on the Trouble Shen data, said you are Trouble Shen then, Demajan Queen devastation. Consistent Demajan and Daisy. Senas is Shen and Daisy. The dear passion, the young, the Queen Demai. Queen Demai, they own the Queen Devastation. Queen Demai, Queen Demai, Yamore. Yamuti on the lesson, Lang and Yam 3 saw some tona. Then you're like when it's our current language of one of the Shetum. Today, one done for the Shek Hamon, Judge was some to the Trevor, Tennis and one of Pento Sheraya, that's one Pento. I don't think some to water. I'm not can such a thing. You know, I don't some to the car and I don't know things there. You know, I don't know what I brought to be done. Yeah, you know, I saw so did Yamut so day. So did Yamut see Yamut. Was I still come about it? Wrong Yamut, wrong about you. Wrong Yamutega, was I young than Yam sing? Wrong Yamut and my was a toy. Don't know my about. Today, part of that, they share today, children, while they are to meet a pegger, in a pegger down. They can them by Debajan, no can them, can them, lad and Yaman, then Yamo is able to Yamo tell them, but the inner kids and leg ambassador, they pass on the zone up. Catch you shut up, they pass on to watching. Rona, I wonder what really. Lender mother Vishan Doga, lender so much everything in it. No, she is Susan, mother, no Susan, she will tell you. Got something to let the Kamati said, Nola pass, Nola said, so send dollar, peco, Nola said, send dollar, Nola said, Karin Nola, send dollar, peco. Say Maria, come down, mother said, today, Nola said that.
So as much as possible, so we're trying to relate whatever we know about Dharma to our own life. Here in here, so we're learning about this Four Noble Truths, and as we were saying before, and this also need to even in our lives. So we have to, whenever we have to be able to understand the life from the perspective of these Four Noble Truths. Such as like how when we generate, for example, any kind of mental afflictions, such as whether it's a strong desire or certain about feel like we any like anger, strong thought of angry anger. So trying to recognize that is the noble truth of the origin of sufferings. So need to trying to understand, look at that, trying to focus on that and see when we focus on that, we can see that it has the motivate one to undertake certain actions. So to be more precise, really, it is not that necessarily that like the anger is actually motivating, but what is that the motivating? What is that? Is that along with the anger? So there are also some other mental factors which also arise with the anger. So there's another one mental factor which is like a sort of like a volitional force, like a which engages, which drive us to undertake actions. So and that is the we call it as like a as a karma. It's like a mental mental karma, like in the form of like a intention. Like intentional like a karma, and so which drive one to do certain actions. So then we got to reflect on that, how if we undertake that actions, then we are creating what we call as the negative action or negative karma, and then the sufferings are said as the result of the negative karma. So how we can, if we implement this, and then we since we do not want, we can say to ourselves, well, I do not want that suffering. So therefore, when we say that things that I do not want to end up in that outcome, when we say that, able to say that, it actually that itself it helps us to overcome these mental influence of these mental delusions, and so therefore the however, if you do not overcome that, if you do not instead of this, if we create the actions as under the influence of this mental for example the anger, and then this at the time of the when we create the when we are in the process of creating anger, so there is a what we call as this continuum of this the mental or the intentions to initially like our intention to create the action, we still the continuation of that same mental act still continues during that time. And so however, upon the completion of that actions, then that this mental continuum of that our intentions to initial intention to create the actions, then it ceases. But however, this is how we say this it will leave the when it ceases, then it leaves the what we call the imprint, karmic imprint on our the continuum of our mind, and then so as a result of that, so we find a suffering in the future. So similarly, we can also think in terms of our dharma practice. Even such as we practice could be like we doing some practice of prostrations. So we will have a, before engaging in thought practicing, we will have a intention to engage in the virtue practice, and then and as well as when we finish the practice, so it also then it leaves the positive imprints in our mind, and which then serve as a cause of brings cause of happiness for oneself in future. So essentially, like this is the practice of the I consider myself, what my spiritual practice is to really to be more responsible of my own state of mind, my own actions, and trying to to live on that. Based on that, you live your life based on your own knowledge of the Dharma and or your practice. So it's not, we have to be very it is as simple as how, if we want to reduce sufferings in our life, then we need to overcome the cause of the suffering, and then which the cause of suffering is really true cause of suffering is this mental delusion that we generate and we keep feeding in ourselves, and then how it is we have to overcome this ourselves. It's not something that some other person can clean or can purify our mental delusions for us. It's not possible. So therefore, it's important to always to think that the cause is this mental delusion within ourselves, and so therefore to as well as to cause of the happiness is to develop this the positive state of mind, positive quality within ourselves, and so this is how we if we approach or apply the Dharma in our life, then we can really derive a lot of benefits out of this practice. Yes. So we might now conclude the teaching here. So once again, I'd like to thank you for for the local group for organizing this teaching, and also facilitating for the whole teaching, and also for me to come here, and which are really very enjoyable, and thank you for that, and also it's also very great and very beneficial for for this group to continue with you organizing certain of this practice practice together, to do the practice together, and also it's important to supporting each others, and to continuously maintaining harmony in the group. And so at the end, so it's important to realize that, understand that when you talk about the Dharma practice, it's all about benefiting the essence of Dharma is to benefiting other beings, and then on this, even if you benefit one being, that is also very important part of one's practice. So just keeping this in mind, so you hope wish this group to continuously grow.
Yeah.
So in these two teachings, so I primarily focus on many of you who have been following Dharma for and know have done a bit of study on the Dharma for a while, and I'm sure from these, so you'll find something to take away to further develop your practice. And but however, if there are some there who are very new, so if there might be some area, if you find it a bit difficult, but you can
study,
find some more from that.
Yeah.
So thank you again.
Sorry, had you finished?
That's finished.
Our group, thank you very much for coming. And, you know, we muddle along all the year. And we have a little understanding of the teaching. But we work together to bring this event together, and it brings us so much happiness, exactly how you explained today. And your teachings are so practical and logical and so much about our responsibility and why wouldn't we want to be happy and why don't we want to act in a way that's a very practical way to do this. So thank you, Geshe, and please come back to us. Thank you to
So in fact, the group's been a great, Islam says, inspiration to him. So as he will definitely will always come back as long as there's the group wanted.
And thank you.
Thank you, Noah.
Thank you. And just forgive me one really quick. I don't know what it is, but there's some books of Geshe Doga's teachings of the first 8 years he taught in Warrnambool. And if you don't have one, we would really love you to take one with you. Thank you.